Hello everyone, so welcome to the PeerLadder webinar for whoever thinks this may be for you. This is going to be a webinar, so we're going to ask you to use the Q&A on this Teams chat instead of the normal chat. So please, if you do have any questions, don't wait until the end, just put them in the Q&A and then we'll address it at the end. But hopefully what Saskia and I present today will be quite informative. So maybe just a brief introduction to both of us. Saskia Lausen-Tovey is the PI of this project. I'm the core lead of this project for PeerLadder. Is funded by DisCouRSE and is also supported by ELIXIR-UK. So let's start with a bit of an introduction of why we're doing this now. So many of us know that we have an issue of representation in STEM, particularly in the leadership positions. So this is the main reason why we are addressing is this is the main reason why DisCouRSE is trying to address also leadership career pathways for those working in research technical professions. But also I want to highlight that this is not just diversity for the sake of diversity. There's more and more studies, reports that show that more diverse teams actually offer private companies, higher innovation revenues. So you can see this on the image on the left-hand side of this slide. We cannot talk of direct correlation, but there's a clear path in between those who embrace diverse teams and those who don't. But there's also another component. You can't have just diversity without the psychological safety put in place. If you have a diverse teams, but those people working in the diverse teams do not know how to communicate, how to work with different views, different perspectives, having a diverse team may actually be a bit more harmful than beneficial. So we're going to try to tackle these two things in PeerLadder, the diversity, but also give you some tools on how to communicate, how to share safely, so that whoever is part of this cohort for the PeerLadder team has both the tools for you to be in more diverse teams, feel more encouraged to participate and build your career in digital RTP, and also to feel comfortable working in those diverse environments. So what is PeerLadder? As I said before, this is a DisCouRSE funded project, is based on peer mentoring and is all towards leadership development. So this is not just peer mentoring to share some challenges that you may have, which is also one of the points of this project, but it's also for people that want to take on leadership positions in the future. So we are going to be focused on building leadership confidence, skills, and the peer networks that may make that possible, that may foster you to continue building your career. We're, of course, focused on inclusivity. This is for underrepresented digital RTPs. We're going to explain a bit what these underrepresented groups are in a minute, just because this may mean very different things for very different people. But we're trying to be as inclusive as possible in that term. And also to highlight that we are doing this peer mentoring program here based on a proven model. It's something that we've taken from a larger program at ELIXIR Europe level, where this has been focused on gender balance. So it was to foster women leadership within ELIXIR as a research infrastructure. Again, who are these digital RTPs? This is a very broad term. DisCouRSE, as our funder, aims to make this very broad by design, because we realize that the way that we name digital RTPs, the name of the roles in different disciplines, may be very different. So this is just a quick snapshot of who this may be. If this sounds like you, someone who is making digital research possible, then you're probably part of what a digital RTP is. But if you do have any doubts on whether you are and you are not, feel free to put a question on the Q&A or also email us. But just think that if you're someone who works with data-driven research and you consider yourself adjacent to any of these roles, you probably are an RTP on a digital landscape. The other thing that we want to share with you is what is peer mentoring. We've seen that peer mentoring may be understood in very different ways by different people, especially if you have never done it before. So I just want to define this for you if you're planning on applying, because you may not see exactly how this is going to pan out throughout the year of this project. So peer mentoring is not top down, it's not a one-to-one chat. is something that works in small groups. It may be 4 to 5 people. We will see how big these groups will be once we have all applications in, but you're going to work in small groups at similar career stages. You're going to meet regularly throughout a year with the tools that we give you. And in this space, you're going to be sharing real experiences, giving honest feedback, and maybe hold each other accountable at the end of one of the meetings, or maybe checking in again in 2-3 months and say, how did that go that you presented maybe 2 months ago? This is also a space for you to build a lasting peer network, because you're sharing very honest experiences. We see this as a way to build very strong connections with people in similar career positions as you are. So even though the program is just for 1 year, what we've seen in other peer mentoring programs is that this actually lasts for longer. It's up to you, up to your group to take this farther if you're selected, but we will encourage this to happen and what people want to continue doing. And also, what I mentioned before, we're based on an already existing program, ELID, at ELIXIR Europe level. We want to highlight this because we want you to know that we have a proven method. We have seen this working before. We have case studies of how this has affected individuals and also the organizations these individuals are in. So if you want to know a bit more about this, we'll share the link to the case study of ELID so you can see some of the stories directly from the participants. But we want to say this as well, because both Saskia and I, we're part of this ELID program. We just don't know about it. We've actually have completed it. I completed it myself on the first cohort, Saskia on the second one, and I'm actually one of the coordinators of the second cohort as well. So this is really to tell you that we are bringing in our experiences here of what worked, what didn't, and picking the very best of those peer mentoring experiences that we had for you to take the best. It is true that ELID is much broader than just the peer mentoring, but we have decided to do this just on peer mentoring because it was the lightweight UK pilot. We took the most cost-effective way of taking the ELID as a mentorship career program, and also the single component that was voted as the most beneficial for participants for both the 2 cohorts so far. So you're getting that strongest pillar, and you're getting that strongest pillar from people that have already experienced it. And I'll pass this over to Saskia now to explain you a bit more about the details of the program.
Thank you, Zhenya. So just a quick overview of the people we're looking for the program. So in terms of eligibility, you have a role in a UK research performing organisation. We're quite broad, any research performing organisation. You've been in a digital RTP or equivalent technical research role for at least 3 years, and you're looking to move into either informal, like community leadership, or more formal leadership roles. And this is the key part is self-identify as underrepresented in leadership. So underrepresented can obviously mean a lot of different things. We have a small box there that defines some of the key characteristics might include, such as female dRTPs, dRTPs who are disabled or neurodivergent, LGBTQIA+, and dRTPs from minority ethnic backgrounds or lower socioeconomic backgrounds. But we're not gatekeeping this. Underrepresentation is very personal, it's very contextual, and it's very intersectional. So we're trusting all of you as participants to self-identify as underrepresented. And if you think this program resonates with you and you do feel underrepresented in your role, please consider applying. And if you're not sure if you qualify, you're very welcome to get in touch with us. The email is at the bottom, and we're happy to share these resources with you afterwards, so you can get in touch, look over this in your free time. Next slide, please, Zhenya. So in terms of the program timeline, so applications will close at the end of business on the 27th of April. So you've still got a couple of weeks to get your application together and put it in. And then on the 13th of May, we'll have a virtual selection day in the morning. This will be run by us and several reviewers, where we'll just put you into groups with other applicants and observe how you communicate with each other before selecting the final PeerLadder cohort. but full instructions and guidance will be given on this before the day. And then those selected for the cohort on the 21st of May will have a virtual introduction to the programme with myself and Zhenya, and some pre-workshop work around communication and any pre-workshop homework and exercises from OLS, our training partner. Then on the 2nd of June, that's our in-person workshop in Manchester. So this is where OLS will deliver training around allyship and communication, and will also form your peer groups and introduce you to the peer mentoring activities. All travel and accommodation for this workshop will be fully funded by PeerLadder. So if cost is an issue, please don't let that put you off from applying. And if you have any concerns about that, again, please get in touch. Or if there's any extra accommodations you might need, again, please let us know and we can try our best to accommodate that both financially and organisationally. And then in July, we'll have the second virtual workshop of the programme, which will be around systemic leadership, again, from our training partner, OLS. So from that 2nd of June workshop, you'll have virtual monthly peer mentoring sessions in your groups. So at the start, we'll help support this, but then we leave you to it. These are very much self-organised peer mentoring sessions. You decide what's important to talk about, the structure that is most valuable to you and the rest of your group. And we're in the background supporting this the whole time, but we're very much led by your needs and what's important to you as a cohort. And then in May 2027, the programme will officially end. But as Zhenya mentioned, quite often these peer groups continue informally as people find them really valuable networks and support systems in their roles. Next slide, please. So as we've mentioned, we've got 2 workshops as part of the programme in June and July. The monthly peer mentoring sessions and small group meetings, which will continue throughout the whole PeerLadder programme. And we'll also conduct check-ins with you, both as groups, just to see how things are going, if you want to adjust anything, how the peer mentoring's going, and one-to-ones, if there's something you feel uncomfortable with how the programme's going. We really want to hear about that as soon as possible, so we'll schedule check-ins with you, but also midterm and end of programme evaluations. As mentioned, this is a pilot programme, and our funders DisCouRSE, but as well as related organisations like SSI and ELIXIR, they're very interested in the impact of this and the result of it. So we're very keen to hear from the selected cohort and how they feel the programme has gone, so that can be incorporated into future leadership training programmes. And underpinning all of this is support from OLS, our partner, training in allyship and psychological safety, and onboarding around systemic leadership training integrated throughout the workshops, and the learnings from that will be taken forward into the peer mentoring. Next slide, please. So in terms of the application form, we've kept it as short as possible. So there's just a few short questions, especially about your career stage and professional background, confirmation that you're eligible around what you consider to be underrepresented, and your availability for key training dates, such as the in-person workshop in June. And then we just have 4 short paragraph responses, up to 150 words for each question. So the first section is around your motivation to be a leader, either in the community sense or a more structured professional sense. The second section is around peer engagement and reflective capacity. The third section is around structural barriers, and the final sections are around community engagement. And for each of those application sections, there are prompt questions that you are supposed to reply to, and again, quite short, to 150 words. Applications close on Monday, the 27th of April, and the link to where the applications are is on the ELIXIR-UK website. Again, if there's any barriers to completing the application form, please get in touch with us and we'll do our best to support you. Next slide, please. So in terms of our team, Zhenya kindly introduced me at the start. So I'm Saskia. I am a participant in the second cohort of ELEAD. I'm also an SSI fellow and was previously an ELIXIR fellow. I graduated from the Manchester Disabled Leadership Programme, and I'm also co-lead of the ELIXIR-UK Human Data Community. Zhenya was a participant in the first cohort of ELEAD and now co-leads the programme for the second cohort, and she's also our Community and Fellowship Manager at ELIXIR-UK. Then we have Professor Carol Goebel, who provides strategic oversight of the programme, who has been a mentor for both the first and second cohort of ELEAD and is the joint head of ELIXIR-UK. And then we have Sarah Villa from OLS, who is our training partner, who will be delivering our training from OLS at both the in-person and virtual workshops. She incorporates inclusive leadership training, onboarding in all her work. So this is a team that we built from participants from this eLead program that we've been inspired by, but also trainers and program leaders, so not just organisational skills. Next slide, please. So in terms of some quick FAQs, and a reminder that if you do have any questions that haven't been covered so far, please add them into the Q&A section of the Teams. So the programme is open to all, it's DisCouRSE funded, so it's not just limited to the life sciences, it's not limited to ELIXIR-UK, it's open to anyone in any discipline at a research performing organisation in the UK who is a digital research technical professional and self-identifies as underrepresented. You do not need to be in a leadership role already to join this programme. This is for people who want to develop their leadership skills, either formally or informally. And in terms of time commitment, there's the in-person workshop in Manchester on the 2nd of June. There will be a virtual workshop in July and monthly peer mentoring meetings, which will be about 1 hour, as well as 2 team check-ins. And again, those peer mentoring meetings and check-ins will be spread out throughout the programme until early next year. In terms of your identification as underrepresented, this is self-reported. We're trusting you in reporting this. We're not going to check eligibility. And in terms of accessibility, please get in touch if there's anything about the application process or the programme design so far that you think would be inaccessible to you. And we'll work with you to adapt what we're doing and support you in the process. And we do hope that these networks will last beyond the programme. That's what's happened already in the first cohort of eLead, that peer groups continue collaborating in the future after the project ends. But this is ultimately up to you and your group to self-organise this after the programme ends. So I think that's is that our final slide, Jenny? Final slide. So apply now, the link is there on the screen, but we will resend it around to you, and I'm sure you will see it advertised through various networks over the next couple of weeks. The application deadline is the 27th of April, and we have our shared mailbox there. So both myself and Jenny receive emails at that inbox. So please get in touch if you have any questions or concerns or comments. And please share this with any other colleagues you think should know about it. We're trying very hard to reach digital technical professionals who aren't already part of ELIXIR and SSI networks. So yeah, let us know if there's also other people we should reach out to share this with.